Alright guys, I have a very exciting video for you today. Steak and Butter Gal made a new recipe video. This time we will learn how to make carnivore chocolate.
Oh my god!
I'm not gonna lie, I may have bitten off a little more than I can chew with this recipe, and that's because making this carnivore chocolate creation is
This whole video is a lie because you clearly again have very severe carb cravings. That's why you want to imitate this seed slime sludge. It's toxic for you, of course, the way it is. Maybe you will make a better version? I don't know how, it's possible. Eating seed slime is, of course, as bad as it gets. It's full of neurotoxins. I don't think that the new version will be super much better. We'll see, but my point is simply that she's lying anyway to herself for the most part, because she's on this very restrictive ED diet, craving carbs nonstop, and seeing as the seed slime is full of sugar always, that's what your body is associating it with, the sugar, the carbohydrates.
pretty much achieving the impossible. This is the only chocolate I'd ever recommend you indulge in. And everyone I've ever showed this recipe to has either been totally amazed because it's just that cool, or they maybe loved eating it just a little too much. But that's okay, because this chocolate is 100% carnivore friendly. So let's get to chocolating. Before we get to cooking,
Man, what's going on today? Carnivore friendly. Carnivores eat raw meat. What does this chocolate imitation have to do with carnivores?
just want to make clear that I will be showing you two different types of chocolates, a 100% pure carnivore chocolate and an animal-based chocolate bar, which I made for my husband's birthday. And I really wanted to surprise him with this recipe. It is definitely the cleanest chocolate bar you could possibly make. So let's start with talking about animal fats. You all know that I love a high-fat carnivore diet approach. It has really served me well and helped me heal my hormones. With this carnivore chocolate specifically, the magic is going to be with using butter, because the butter will give us that caramelized sweet flavor without actually adding caramel or sugar. Feel free to use your favorite butter brand, and I'm personally using unsalted pasteurized butter for this recipe. I prefer to eat my raw butter on its own. For those who are sensitive to the lactose in butter, feel free to use ghee, or even better yet, beef tallow. This is labeled as beef butter, but the ingredients are literally just beef tallow, which is rendered cooked beef fat. Now, I just want to take a second and show you what beef suet looks like, which is the lowest inflammatory, easiest to digest animal fat there is, and it's basically raw beef fat. First step is going to be melting our butter.
So it actually causes digestive issues, specifically constipation in people if they consume a lot of it. I don't know about that brand specifically, but if it's typical beef suet, then it's pretty dry usually, and eating a lot of dry fat causes constipation.
And I will be using 2 sticks of unsalted pasteurized butter to make my carnivore chocolate bites, as well as my husband's animal-based chocolate bar later in this video. So it's going to take about 5 to 8 minutes for our butter to brown and caramelize. I am heating on medium heat and stirring as often as possible. You will know it's done when you see those dark browned tiny little specks, almost like cinnamon at the bottom. These are the milk solids that are separating from the butter fat. Once our butter is browned, we will take it off the heat and transfer to a heat-proof container. So here I am using a glass Pyrex bowl, but feel free to use any dish that you have on hand. Let's give it a quick mix before we pour it into our molds. And here I'm using some silicone molds that I got super easily on Amazon. But if you don't have these molds, you can actually still make it work with ice cube trays. And if you don't have ice cube trays, you can just pour it all over a baking sheet and break it into carnivore chocolate bark. Now, before I transfer everything into the freezer, I just wanted to share a really simple hack to elevate your carnivore chocolate. Bacon bits will not only add that savory contrast to your sweet brown butter bites, but it will also add a delicious crunchy texture. So feel free to sprinkle in bacon bits into your chocolate. I'm actually saving this for my husband's animal-based chocolate bar. Once we fill up our molds, just transfer to the freezer, and it only takes 10 to 15 minutes for the chocolate to harden. And here's the outcome. And as you can see, we've got some gorgeous yellowish gold chocolate bites, as well as more brown chocolate bites. So how did it turn out?
Wait, I don't get it. So it's just frozen fat? That's it? What?
So different in color. These yellow ones were just browned for 5 minutes. And then I decided to take a bit of the melted butter and brown it for a couple more minutes to the point where it was on the verge of being
Okay, so the difference is more carcinogens. That's what makes it brown. That's why it appears to be brown. So if you want really dark chocolate, make it really carcinogenic, really toxic. Cook it until it's black. What the fuck, man? What's wrong with this girl?
burnt. You're just not going to have as creamy of a flavor as the golden yellow ones, but both still taste incredibly rich and decadent. Finish it off with some powdered sugar, and no, it's not real sugar, it's colostrum. And there you go, a beautiful carnivore chocolate dessert. Now moving on to the beautiful chocolate bar.
Oh my god, man, how can you crave sugar so much and still not consume it? It's an ED, she's always had it. She used to be vegan or something, right? She was vegan, she followed this man-made diet and restricted herself from meat. And then now she eats meat, but basically only animal foods, which would be fine if it was raw, fresh foods with glycogen also. But she eats some dried and overcooked meat, is super nutrient deficient, really underweight also in most videos. She made one. What did she say? Her BMI was? It was very low. She was definitely underweight. Maybe somebody can remind me. There was some short video. I don't know where I have it. I'm not gonna find it right now.
That I made for my husband's birthday. Because he is animal-based, it gave me more freedom to really create an extravagant yet decadent chocolate bar. Instead of using honey as the sweetener in the chocolate, why not make an ooey gooey filling and throw in some delicious crunchy bacon bits? So this right here, you are seeing a decadent animal-based clean chocolate bar.
Technically, this is healthier than real chocolate. Yeah. And it doesn't matter. No human being who's actually happy and healthy, nourished, which is the same thing essentially, would go and create seed slime, try to imitate it. Come on, you really have to start thinking about what's going on in your life when you do that. You have to be somewhat conscious of what you're doing.
With honey bacon filling. So let's get the filling started. Now I did some research here because I wanted to know what the difference between cacao powder and cocoa powder was, and I decided to go with cacao powder because it's basically the unprocessed version of cocoa powder. It's still going to taste just as chocolatey, if not chocolate.
Oh wow, so she actually adds the seed powder to it. Well then, maybe never mind. Well, I guess it's still better than regular chocolate, but then you're also eating seeds. The other videos were stupid enough, but they made sense. She made fake bread. She didn't use actual seed powders, grains, but now she is. So what's the difference? Just chocolate with better ingredients. Not carnivore chocolate then, which it isn't anyway. It's a stupid title, but now you added seeds to it, so that's it then. What carnivore chocolate? Carnivore chocolate with seeds. Makes no sense.
Chocolatier and richer, and because my husband does not have issues with his gut or autoimmune issues, he is able to tolerate and enjoy chocolate sparingly. So for my husband's chocolate bar itself, I decided to make a dark chocolate for him since he is lactose intolerant and cannot tolerate milk. So just 2 ingredients, 1 tablespoon of cacao powder mixed with 2...
Wait, how old is she? Her hands look really strange. Let me check. Wait, is she really 28? No, right? She's in her 20s only? I thought that she's in her 30s. Well, whatever the case, those hands just don't look normal. They're too wrinkly. Her body fat is too low. Yeah, I've said this before. Her body fat's just too low. Man, this fake carnivore diet is a total ED at this point. What she's promoting anyway.
2 cups of melted browned butter. Now with our chocolate bar mold, this is going to be quite important to you.
And look at my hands. I'm in my mid-30s. I don't even have such strange hands. Wow, really strange.
And I specifically chose a deep dish chocolate mold so it has a bit of height so that I have the room to work with to add the filling and then layer over the...
Her hands are maybe not as bad as a vegan's hands. And I get that she, I guess, suffered from health issues in the past, but if she would have eaten what she's supposed to naturally, she would be fine now. Because she has very pale and it's all red here, fingers. The same kind that vegans usually do. Yeah, she's underweight. Her body heat is probably very low. And this is not a healthy human being. This is all wrong, what she's doing here.
Other side of the chocolate. So it's important to fill our chocolate mold no more than halfway full with the melted chocolate. We're going to put it in the freezer to harden up, and this will give us time to make the filling. Because I wanted to retain the maximum benefits of eating raw honey unpasteurized, I lightly melted the honey by putting this entire bowl of honey into my air fryer at 100 degrees Fahrenheit for just a couple minutes, and it melted like this. From there, I just mixed in a handful of the bacon bits, and just look at how glossy and glorious this filling looks. And it somehow looked even more glossy and shiny after refrigerating it for just 15 minutes. So this is going to be the state of the filling when...
It just looks like slime, but you want to eat it because you're obsessed with sugar. But from what I understand, it's for her husband. She's not even gonna eat it herself.
We break open our chocolate bar because it's going to all be chilled. So let's take out our chocolate that has been freezing for the past 10 to 15 minutes. As you can see, it is completely solid. It's really fast. And we're going to spread our ooey gooey carnivore filling into our chocolate. By the way, do you guys consider honey to be carnivore? This is the question. Put your
Who gives a fuck? Dude, you're promoting an ED. What is this shit? Who cares what label you put on something? That's an ED. You shouldn't think about food like this.
answer down below in the comments. I personally do not think it is a safe carnivore food, even though it is from a bee. I just don't think it's a safe carnivore food for those who are sensitive to sugar, who have sugar addiction, histories. Even when you're free from sugar addiction.
Sugar addiction. And yeah, there is such a thing, technically, when you really overconsume extracted sugar all the time, but you need carbohydrates also. That's why your body tries to create sugar if you don't consume any. A little bit of sugar is completely fine. Now it shouldn't be 70% of your diet, as it is for most people today, if not even more, but 10 to 20%, less than 20 usually, that's totally fine and good actually for you. You don't need to stress your body, go through gluconeogenesis for your body to create sugar out of protein.
If you're not a moderator and you are more of an abstainer, it's hard to bring back in the honey with no issues at all. This is why I choose to abstain from honey, from anything.
I don't like honey myself, but not for the same reason as her. She just doesn't eat it because of sugar.
That has sugar. Meanwhile, my husband absolutely is a moderator. So treats like these, where his wife makes them for his birthday, totally fine. And by the way, I always get asked, what is the white powder stuff that I'm sprinkling over my carnivore dessert recipes? It is Armra colostrum, which by the way is 100% carnivore. So it really adds.
Yeah, it's 100% carnivore. A powder from milk. A dairy powder. Oh my god.
That final touch to that sweet aesthetic. This Armor Colostrum is now my husband's favorite supplement because it is...
Yeah. Fucking hell, man.
A few moments later.
My God. You're kidding me. You Godiva goddess. How did you pull that off? You bought this, didn't you?
I did not buy it.
What in the world?
Yeah, but it's not that much different from actual chocolate, except that it's made with the cacao fat. That white fat. Now it's animal fat, which is better. Not saying anything against it as such, but it still has the seed powder. It will taste like chocolate then, of course, yeah. Whatever.
I know, right?
Are you serious right now? How is this carnivore?
It's not.
Okay.
It's animal-based.
Okay.
And by now, everybody knows who subscribes here to our channel. My husband's animal-based. I am strict carnivore, which is why strict carnivore and the rest is animal-based for my hubby and his birthday.
You got a candle?
No. I have way more plans to celebrate his birthday. This is just the appetizer.
Oh, yeah. I know what the main course is going to be.
Okay, let me start
Wow.
one of these really dark brown herb
My God, babe. You overdid it this time. Cheers.
Okay.
Oh, my God. That is unbelievable.
Like, actually?
I'm going to eat nothing but this.
Yeah.
I gotta say, when I imagine that he's eating the chocolate, I wouldn't say that I feel nauseous or anything, but I would never eat it myself because when I think of chocolate, I just taste the bitterness in my mouth. Even though you don't really think about it as a child because it's so full of sugar, it's always in the back of your head, so to speak, the bitterness from the toxins, the caffeine, theobromine and whatnot, all the seed toxins, which is also in there. And that's all that I think about when I think of chocolate. That's why a lot of women cannot eat chocolate when they are pregnant because it's so toxic and they do not want to harm the child, of course, which is why the body rejects chocolate. Some people, some women, never get this craving back for chocolate because the body just rejects it permanently after the pregnancies. It's interesting.
So healthy?
Well, this I don't recommend eating daily. Just because of the the carb content and the sugar count. But you can rest assured that this is 100% real whole ingredients. Rather than the chocolate bars in grocery stores, you will probably see 10 to 20, maybe even 30 plus ingredients in there, including seed oils.
Oh my God, babe. Holy smokes, that's some good chocolate.
Yeah, I agree with her. It is better. It's just that you shouldn't be imitating seed slime in the first place. That's my main point.
Oh my God.
Can I just give you,
How did you make that?
before I opened up
If somebody really wants it for their birthday and you make this, okay, I get it. It's just that her channel is all about imitating foods with carbs all the time. And she sees sugar basically as deadly, yet she craves it all the time.
Good. Ready, chicken? Good boy. Let's give him the brown butter. Safe for dogs. Maybe not too much.
Yeah, dogs do not eat chocolate. I suppose that they could, but they would get sick or possibly even die from eating too much. You would have to feed the dog a lot, but still they could. Whether their own natural senses will detect it, usually yes, but some dogs are just kind of dumb.
They'll get diarrhea. Is it good? Is it good? Yes, it's good. My boys love it.
Yeah, my boys, she still doesn't have children. I think that she wants to. Somebody told me. I think that she's just too underweight. That's it. I don't think that it's really a mystery.
Success.
Steak and butter gal, just like all the vegans, don't understand that we have cravings for a reason. We don't simply crave meat in the case of vegans because we remember the mysterious magical taste which has no meaning. No, we taste something and then we want it again because of the nutrients. That's how we learn to eat foods as a baby already, and then our body tells us, yes, I want more of that, give me that. Mommy, meat, fat, oh, meat, fat, and then you eat it because of the nutrients. That's what you taste. And when these fake carnivores, and they are fake, real carnivores eat raw meat, crave foods with sugar and try to imitate it all the time, but then at the same time they call it toxic, then it's an ED. It's the same as vegans craving meat. They want these sugary foods because they are on a zero carb diet, which doesn't exist in nature. No, as I said, overeating on carbs is also strange. Eating a carb-based diet, that also doesn't exist. But a zero carb diet doesn't exist in nature. You eat fresh animals, you drink the blood, eat the liver, you're always getting carbohydrates. It would just be 20 to 10%. Depending on the season, sometimes 70 if you get a lot of honey and fruits, but usually it would be that amount of the calories that you get. Then you wouldn't, of course, have any crazy cravings like this. That's how much sugar you create through gluconeogenesis when you create sugar out of protein. That's what they do all the time. That's why the cravings get so bad. They imitate bread, chocolate, pasta, chips. I also reviewed that. Because they restrict themselves. Because it's not normal to eat like this. They all know it deep down. I guess that it's just too deep for them to tap into their natural intuition. It's been suppressed. I hope that she will snap out of it eventually. Thanks for watching, guys.